Client had had multiple lates on multiple mortgages and needed to get cash out of one of his properties. When he first calls me up and explains this to me, I said, well, what happened? He explains to me that he got into a business deal, that he had overextended himself and he had just got jammed up and he'd gotten out of the situation, but he needed to get some cash out of one of his houses in order to just get everything right, reset, and start over. I was like, okay, well, tell me about the properties. He goes, well, I own three properties. I was like, okay. I was like, tell me about them. He goes, well, one is my primary residence. I said, what do you owe on that? He explains to me what he owed. I was like, what's it worth? He gives me the value. He was a very little amount. He's got a lot of equity in that property. I said, okay. I was like, were you late on that mortgage? He goes, yeah, I think I was only late one time on that mortgage. I was like, are you current now? He goes, I'm current now. I was like, you were 30 days late, 60 days late? He goes, just 30 days late. I was like, okay. What about the other two properties? He goes, well, the second property was the biggest problem. He goes, he tells me what that's worth and he tells me what he owes on it. And he's about 50% equity in that property. I was like, okay. I was like, well, what happened? He goes, well, I went 30 days late and then I went 60 days late. And and that's what happened. I go, well, are you caught up now? He goes, yeah, I got caught up now. And but I did go 60 days late. He goes, I didn't go 90, but I did go 60. I was like, okay, what about the last property? He says, well, the last property, he also has a bunch of equity in it, not as much as the first two, because I went 30 days late and then I got caught up, then I went 30 days late again. So I was like, so you were 30 days late twice. I was like, so let me just recap. You have been 30 days late four times in the last 12 months and you've been one time 60? He goes, yeah. I was like, yeah, I bet it's hard to get some money at this point. I was like, are you willing to borrow against your primary residence? He goes, yeah. I was like, you understand it's going to be a first mortgage, so you're going to have to pay off whatever you have and then borrow the cash in addition to that. He goes, yeah. I was like, are you willing to take a high rate? He goes, what's a high rate? I was like, I don't know. It's going to be 3, 4 points higher than whatever the market is. I was like, because all the risk is in that you haven't paid a bunch of mortgages. He goes, yeah. He goes, is there a pre-penalty payment on it? I was like, no. He goes, so if I kept the loan for a year, I could refinance back down to a decent rate. I was like, yeah. I was like, what's your income situation? He goes, my income is actually pretty strong. He goes, I just got jammed up in this situation and it spun out of control and I've managed to get it caught up. But he goes, I just need some relief to be able to move forward. He goes, if I can get caught up, I can reset and go forward. I was like, okay, what about your credit score? He goes, my credit score used to be in the high 700s. He goes, I never had a late payment in years. He goes, now it's in the mid 600s. I was like, okay. I was like, let's do an application because if you have a bunch of equity and you have a credit score in the mid 600s, you haven't been 90 days late on any of those mortgages. I think I can